How's it going, everybody? DJ K DuB Omaha, Wired Access Podcast with the All Axcess Granted.
I didn't want that to be the standard. I didn't want someone else in the room to set the standard. I always wanted to do that.
The journey to get there, I think, is something, that is amazing, Nick.
Let's get this podcast started.
That's right. Welcome to Wired Access, All Axcess Granted. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha. I greatly appreciate everybody's patience. I know we normally start on time right at 7. We're kind of getting back into it. Of course, I do a lot with the Omaha Beef, so that has kind of taken a lot of my time where I haven't been able to set these up. But also, when you are working with athletes, schedules have to align, and I greatly appreciate our guest today, Brady Alderson. Brady Alderson is from Papillion South, a Titan, but is now committed to Concordia for baseball. And what I love about Brady's mission and his journey through this whole process is just he's still a 3-sport athlete. They're rare. They're very rare nowadays. Everybody starts going one way. And what I know about Brady, and this is, of course, from coaches and stuff like that, and, of course, seeing him on the football field is where I've majorly caught him, is he never rushed himself to get to where he is. It was something that he slowly built up his process. He waited his time is what I mean, because in this day and age, kids want to play, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you work hard enough, you do the right things, things get noticed. And, of course, Brady, you are now committed to Concordia for baseball, but your journey started way before that. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, I do want to give a shout out. One of your cousins is watching on YouTube, Reed R8P. He says, that's my cousin. So I want to give a shout out to him. Brady, 3 sports, you've been playing the sports for how long? Like all together, if you would say.
Well, I started playing all of them around the same time. Probably when I was around like 4 or 5, I got started with all 3: flag football, t-ball, and then YMCA basketball.
And then if you think of, so what I love that you brought up there is t-ball, at an early age, flag football, early age, YMCA basketball, not just jumping into, let's get you into select sports. Let's get you into all this, because that's where sometimes it can lead. What do you remember about really wanting to play those sports? What's the earliest that you remember going, okay, I'm ready to play the next sport. I'm ready to play the next sport for yourself?
I think my love really started in like early on in elementary school, around like 1st or 2nd grade. I was pretty obsessed with football, especially, but I was obviously interested in all of them. But I'd always like start to go in the backyard and like throw the ball up to myself and act like I was all the top athletes in the world. So like for early on, I envisioned myself playing when I was older.
Now, of course, being a athlete that plays all 3 sports, you got to continue to grow your love. What did you love about going from sport to sport to sport at an early age?
I'd say I really liked being occupied and having something to do year round, because I feel like at a young age, like I'd always like want to be active and like go. So it was always nice jumping from one sport to the other and being versatile from an early age, and just not like limiting myself to one sport early on.
Now, your parents, are either of them athletes that you could kind of role model after, or they might have been through the process where they were kind of able to keep you involved in those sports?
Yeah, definitely. My dad, he played at football at Doane College, and my mom played volleyball at Nebraska. So they were both college athletes, and they both raised me as an athlete from an early age.
So, see, that's a special art that some people don't always get. You get the ones who have parents who maybe never played sports. You get the ones where the parents have played sports, they just never got to college. But you, of course, had parents that made it to college.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of those early ages, and when did it start getting a little more serious in each sport for you? I know for my own personal son, I mean, once I threw t-ball or coach pitch, I saw that he just wanted it more than the other kids. And then there was like a dad that comes up to me. He's like, hey, let's get him into select baseball at 8. And you're like, oh, sweet. Yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
like, it's not always that way. And especially going through all 3 sports.
Yeah. I think it really started around that same time in elementary school, and in like flag football especially. I feel like I started to separate myself from the others pretty well, and I always would beg my parents to get me into tackle football, but they wouldn't let me play till 5th grade. So like I think just like having that motivation to want to play tackle made me better at flag, and I feel like that just made me a better athlete overall.
Now, I don't know if it's a good or bad. Like every kid is different. I know for us, we didn't do flag football. We went straight for tackle. And,
Mhm.
at the age of, I think 7 or 8, you're a little bobblehead with a big helmet on trying to run around, do things. But what do you think flag taught you early in just the game of football for yourself?
I think it definitely taught me like just the basic rules, obviously, of football, like what the positions are, what do you like, what are the rules, stuff like that, and also taught me to play multiple positions because I played quarterback, I played running back, receiver, defense, so I was exposed to all the positions at once, and it also just taught me like teamwork from an early age, which is obviously important uh, in all 3 sports that I play because they're all team sports. So I think the biggest thing that I got from flag football is teamwork. Taught me that at an early age.
You, of course, start building yourself up to your junior high days. What do you remember about sports for the school and sports outside of the school? What was kind of you and your growing up for junior high? Because I think there's so much where you can do both at the same time for the same sport if you want to, or you can try new things because
Yeah.
middle school has so many options.
Yeah. So middle school is pretty interesting. Uh, I didn't play football for the school. I actually did cross country instead because I thought playing 2 tackle football sports at once would be pretty hard and take a big toll on my body. So I decided to do cross country, and I actually was really good at cross country. I actually won like several meets, and yeah, I don't know. And then basketball, I played for the school. I played basketball for Junior Titans too. So I played 2 basketball teams at once. So I had to go from basketball practice at school, go home and eat quick, and then I'd usually go straight to Junior Titans practice. And those nights were long and tiring. They took a big toll on my body too, obviously. And then I did track for the school, and then I played baseball during that time too for Storm Chasers for
So
select
you're
ball. So
playing the select baseball, and was that also going on for you? What was kind of like every team is different during the winter for baseball. What was that like for you playing 2 teams of basketball? Was there still baseball workouts, whether it's hitting, throwing? What was that for you going through middle school?
yeah, there definitely was baseball practices going on. So I'd have to like sometimes just miss them, but if I could make them, I'd go. So like just juggling all that at once was hard, but it was definitely worth it.
Did you feel any pressure at that time of your life that was something you wanted or something that you kind of were iffy at that time? I mean, young age, obviously the parents are making a lot of decisions as well. They're making sure, can we get him here? Can we get him there? What was that like for you?
Yeah, there definitely was a lot of pressure because I feel like around that time, a lot of people kind of start to focus on one sport, maybe. But I think I did a great job of keeping my options open, and even expanding on the sports I already played because I added 2 more sports. So I think just like being versatile and adding more really helped in my development.
I like that you brought up the 2 things. Everybody says if you're not playing a sport during track time and you're not getting track season and you want to get to the next level, track is a big key because it teaches you so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Cross country is a million times even harder on yourself because every time you go out there, you're racing against a whole crowd, but you're also looking at yourself. Am I getting better? What did those two sports help you grow into the guy that you are today?
Yeah, I think just the timing aspect of it and kind of the kind of the solo sport aspect of it kind of made me like challenge myself more and try to like break past my own barriers and like to keep improving because like once I see that first time that first meet for both those I want to like keep improving, keep trying to get better, keep working harder in practice to try to just beat my best and be the best version of myself.
Parent support during your middle school. What do you remember about those times, and how important was it for them to be there for that, going through that transition of, like you said, three sports at a high level, add in those some of those sports, obviously a fourth with basketball at school, and then you had the two more. What was kind of the conversations that your parents that you remember having with you during that time? And because did you also sometimes maybe forget to be a kid?
Maybe sometimes honestly because like pretty much all my time was dedicated to sports, but like I'd always try to like just enjoy being a kid and hanging out with my friends when I could. But yeah, my parents' support was definitely big during that time. We definitely did have a lot of tough talks uh, during middle school, and like around that time, my mom kind of asked me if I wanted to take sports seriously or just if I wanted to play them for fun, and if I was willing to do the extra work outside of those sports because obviously like doing more work outside of practice is going to get you better. Like just doing what your teammates are doing isn't going to get you better than the competition. So
You- I love that. Real quick, sorry to interrupt, but like a parent to have that talk. Obviously, the experience helped. I mean, we all know Nebraska volleyball top in the whole country. But to have that talk with a kid to understand when you're going through a lot of just wanting to be a part of it all, it also has to set a different tone with you to go, okay, what is other people doing? What going through that part, and what can I do differently? You talked about how practice isn't everything it's cracked up to be. That's where you get time with your team. What's some things that you remember starting to do early that was trying to separate Brady from anybody that can compare themselves to you, right? You're always just trying to do better for yourself.
mhm. After I had that talk with my parents, I think I started to do a lot more on my own. Like during the seventh and eighth grade summers, I I put a lot more time into shooting extra baskets outside in the driveway, like just doing footwork drills for football, running routes, having my dad throw to me, then baseball, getting in the cages, pitching, just doing extra work so I could uh like get back for what I was missing playing other sports. So yeah.
Of course, COVID happens during this time. What
Mhm.
what was the biggest thing for you in COVID during that time? I feel everybody's sports experience was different. If you had the parents that had to talk with you, you kind of had also time to do what you were doing, better
Mhm.
yourself. Yeah, you couldn't be around the team. Baseball seasons got canceled. Some football seasons got canceled. But what do you remember about COVID year for you?
Uh, it was definitely a tough time because uh, it really limited my 13U. Yeah, my 13U season for baseball. We only played like maybe 10 games, so that was really hard. And then going in the summer and then the football season, we had to wear masks, which was really hard because it was so hard to breathe wearing helmets, running around like that. But during that time, like I really got to focus on myself kind of and just like bettering myself, like doing those extra drills and practices by myself to get better for when we were able to get back with the team.
You look back at your middle school years, was there a sport that you wanted to go to the next level more than the others
Yeah,
for you?
during middle school, I'd say it was definitely football, and for my whole life, I feel like football really was my favorite sport, and I love watching football. I'd always like draw football players I used to act like I was NFL players in the backyard. But as I went into high school, I grew really late, so I feel like just physical element of it kind of caused me to eventually like baseball more because I got more opportunities early on in high school. And like freshman year, sophomore year, football, I was about like 5'5", and then I grew like to 5'8" my sophomore year, I think. So like I obviously didn't have uh, the physical components to compete at a varsity level for football. So I feel like not being able to compete varsity kind of caused me to shift my interest to other sports.
You get to high school, of course, in this city, it's pretty designated where you're gonna go. Was the Titans always something that you wanted to be no matter what the dividing lines were or where you lived or anything of that sort?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my dad's a teacher at Papillion South, so I pretty much grew up a Titan. I'd always go to the games when I was younger, stand on the sidelines, just take in the atmosphere, what the black hole is like, what Friday night lights are like, basketball games, stuff like that. And I also became really close with like the administrators, and, like other teachers, coaches. So I think I think going to Paco South is my only option, and uh, like playing with my homegrown brothers that I've been playing with for my whole life.
Well, I like that you brought that up because I feel like those are things that sometimes get forgotten. And especially when, people want to go to one team to win. But I think what I've seen, and of course, I don't know if you even remember, but I was the in-game DJ for the football games, making it seem like it was in Lincoln when I got to. Did some of their basketball games, but I've been around the programs enough at Papio South to see them really become who they have these past couple 3 years. I would say probably the past 3 years where they really put themselves on the map across the board for the men or the boys, whatever you want to call them, young men.
Mhm.
And there's just been this positive thing constantly going through. What do you remember about coming in your freshman year and kind of looking up? You've already obviously been on the sidelines. You've already been around the basketball. You've been around the baseball. What was kind of your first thoughts getting into high school?
I mean, freshman year was definitely like really hard time. I don't know. There's just a lot going on. I mean, obviously high school is stressful, and like seeing all my classmates like grow really was kind of frustrating because I didn't grow really. I was five, like I said, I was 5'5" my freshman year, so I was smaller than most people. And I think just like seeing the older kids, the varsity kids, seeing their physical components and like what they could do on the field, I feel like that really inspired me to keep working and just to keep putting in extra work.
What was some of the adversity besides just your height that you might have went through that freshman year? I mean, of course, you go into a school, people know your dad's there. Like there's so many things that go on with kids at a school, whether it's size, speed, ability, even parents like that are around and they know that they're around. Like, what were some of the adversities that you remember early in that first year?
I'd say the biggest thing was juggling all three at a high school level for the first time because I'd have football workouts in the summer, which I obviously didn't do in eighth grade or before that. So I had to get up early, like 7 a.m. for football workouts. And then there'd be summer basketball right after football workouts. And then I was also playing Legion baseball. So if we had a Legion game that day, we'd be playing later in the day, usually later at night. But if we didn't have a baseball game that night, I have Legion practice right after football, and then I have to skip basketball for that day. So like just juggling all three at once was obviously a lot. It took a big toll on my body. And also on top of that, I was going to Marshall Performance to train, and I've been going there for years now. And so just like juggling all those at once was really hard, obviously. And yeah, it just showed me like how to fight through adversity.
Who was some of your support in those years besides your parents in that year, in that first year? Because not all teammates support the multi-sport athlete. Not all coaches support multi-sport athlete. How were you able to find yourself to be able to do all those and also have some support around you besides the parents?
Yeah, I think my coaches for all three sports were really good at understanding that I had to miss sometimes, and for all three sports at our high school, our coaches were really good at uh, like letting us prioritize what's in season. So I think like whenever I had to go to football and I'd miss basketball, like Coach Heesier, Coach Hooley would be really understanding and say it's okay. They understand like if I had to miss. Same thing for baseball, same thing for football. So yeah.
Of course, you're one of the rare ones that are going through it all. How's the team factor of it, and how do your teammates support you through this process?
I think I think being a multi-sport athlete uh, causes your teammates to really appreciate you because they see like you put in a lot of work. You really do go through a lot. You go through a lot of adversity. So I think I think being a multi-sport athlete uh, really gives you respect from your teammates, even if you have to miss those workouts that they're at and you're not.
You, of course, are going through the process. You're learning the do's and don'ts. At any time in that first year, did you ever have the I quit feeling or that I need to give one of these up to succeed at the other?
There was definitely thoughts about quitting, like uh, just feeling the way my body felt after the end of those long days was just awful. I don't know. And like sophomore year, I really wanted to quit basketball because I felt like I wasn't getting the recognition I deserved, and I didn't sit up varsity till the very end of the year, and I feel like my skill set was there, but my physical components weren't there. So I feel like that was why I wasn't getting some of the opportunities I thought I deserved. But
What made you stay with it and overcome it? How'd you overcome that? Because I mean, this day and age is just known to, well, I'm gonna chalk that one up. I'm not good enough. I'm not gonna be able to hack it. I could put more time into baseball. I could put more time into football. What kept you there?
um, I think just having those conversations with my mom and dad really uh, helped me uh, keep continue playing basketball because my mom told me if I quit basketball I'd have to get a job, and at that time, like sophomore year, I really didn't like that idea. So I just thought, why not stick it out? And I've been playing basketball my whole life. And I mean, junior times when I was younger, basketball was probably my second favorite sport. Honestly, baseball is probably my least favorite, but I really enjoyed playing basketball all my life. And I thought about how much fun I'd had when I played younger, that I had when I was playing younger. So I thought playing 2 more years, I'd develop more, I'd grow, and I'd get more opportunities. And I ended up getting those and becoming pretty successful.
Now, of course, you guys start building the culture there, and you're seeing the culture just get stronger in all the sports that you're playing. I mean, you guys are winning a lot, doing a lot of good things. What would you say for yourself was the biggest growth from your sophomore to junior year that you had to do for all three sports for yourself?
I think getting in the weight room was the biggest part because I went from maybe like 140 to 160 from sophomore to junior year. I put on quite a bit of weight because I knew I'd have to put on some weight to uh, hold my ground with those varsity athletes, especially like even in practice, but especially if I wanted to get into games. But yeah, definitely just lifting weights, and I also grew a few inches over that time, so that obviously helped. But I think just putting on weight helped me stay level with the competition.
Now, of course, you guys got a good workout regimen with Pullman there.
hmm
What do you think changed mentally for yourself to make the weight room different? Because when I'm around Pullman, I mean, I get to DJ his state powerlifting championship and all that. Like, I just want to run through a wall already. I mean, I don't know how as a freshman you don't feel that. What changed for you to give you that additional want to and drive in the weight room?
Yeah, I think just seeing all those guys around me lifting like just motivated me to lift more, lift more than the person beside me, because I knew like those would be the guys I'd be competing against. And Pullman does a great job of setting up our workouts accordingly to what we need. But I also went to Marsh too during that time, so I think just doubling up on lifting weights and taking creatine, taking protein drinks just really helped me gain weight and uh, like have a step above everyone else.
You get into that junior year, and like you've already stated, there's some good, some bad, varsity, some no varsity through the sports. You're learning that part. Some people are starting to get prior to that junior year, some reach out from colleges. Did you have any of that early in your process?
Uh, Early in junior year, I did not have anybody reach out to me.
And what was some things, I mean, did your parents talk to you about that process of recruiting and how it all goes? What all did you know that might have helped you stay even keen with who you were to just continue to keep working hard to become who
Yeah,
you are?
my mom kind of taught me about the recruiting process around that sophomore junior year, and she signed me up for lots of camps for football mainly at that time, because at that time I thought I'd want to play football in college for sure. Um, and she also she helped me with email templates and reaching out. Sending emails is a big part of getting looked at. So yeah, I think just her having me fill me in on like how to get recruited and what you need to do to get recruited really helped.
And those things make a difference because everybody thinks, all recruits are just someone comes and finds them. Sometimes you have to provide stuff for people to find. And of course, there's people out there like myself, like when I'm out there recording and making some cool highlight reels, here or there, but coaches want to see it all. They want to see the work. They want to see the growth. They want to see the development. And I think sometimes some young athletes are thinking that all they want to see is the highlight. They only want to see the top play, but they want to see. I mean, if you went and did like a 4 set at Marsh and you grew each one, they want to see that production.
Mhm.
What all was some things that you learned for this recruitment and for these emails and what to send to people and what to put on? Because social media does make or break some things as well.
Mhm. Yeah, my mom. Well, during that time I was on JV football. Even junior, I played JV and a little bit of varsity. But my mom encouraged me to reach out to schools with my JV highlights, even though I didn't think that's what you should do, because those coaches would know you're on JV. So like, why not? Like, why look at them? But she told me like just those coaches seeing the way like you move on the field and like what your agility is like, what your speed's like is really big, like no matter the level. So I think just sending out that JV film got like helps get me my first initial looks, honestly.
As you get through your sophomore, junior year, what's kind of the love for each sport going for you? Of course, you talked about before where it was football, basketball, baseball. How was those kind of slowly moving and adjusting through this time?
Yeah, football was definitely my favorite. I was obviously trying to get recruited to play football, and I was doing a lot more extra football drills than I was for any of the other sports. And then basketball, I honestly, well, during that time, I really wanted to quit, to be honest. And uh, baseball was definitely my second favorite. Just playing in the summer, like playing Legion throughout the summer was really fun, like traveling out of town. So I think that's what made me really enjoy baseball during that time. But yeah, basketball was definitely the lowest.
You of course
Yeah.
stick it out for all of them. You get to your junior year, you guys, make it, to a championship, win a championship with Bryson and all them for
Mhm.
basketball. Baseball, I think you guys did you guys win Legion?
Junior,
Yeah,
runner up.
runner up. So you
Mhm.
guys are seeing success and you're seeing all this. What do you feel your junior year did for you amongst the sports and also just amongst moving yourself to understand that you waited time, you stuck it out. Like, how do you feel this also projects you for the future?
Yeah, I feel like junior year was honestly the biggest year of my high school career in terms of sports because for all three sports, I kind of got to like know and understand my role for each of them. In football, my role was like special teams, kind of backup scout team. So like I started to understand how big the scout team is to getting the starters better. And same thing for basketball. Um, like for basketball, the scout team would like imitate the players for each team. Like during state, that was big. We like run the plays, imitate players for the other team, and I think that really helped our starters succeed and thrive in state and win state. And then baseball, I actually got some opportunities relief out of the bullpen, relief pitching, and uh, I'd usually come in at tough spots, like bases loaded, second and third, a lot of runners on. So I think just like filling up the zone, getting a ground ball, just getting outs was big for me. But yeah, I think just overall, just knowing and understanding my role and seeing what like buying into the team can do for the team.
Where did you grow or learn that part of your game, the role? What do you think started pushing yourself to be that type of player? And that's why I really wanted this conversation is because you could have given up any time. You could have stopped
Mhm.
playing all, you could have stopped playing one, you could have stopped playing two and just done what others did, but you stuck it out and you pushed yourself. And I mean, you got a championship ring out of it. You got, some obviously it started getting some possible opportunities for baseball because people want a team player that can find that role. Where did that start for you?
I think it definitely started with basketball program. Coach Heischer would always preach like just buy into the team. If you buy into the team, team's more successful. Like playing like one on one isn't gonna do any good for the team. So I think just like hearing that from Coach Heischer really helped me apply it to all three sports. And then that kind of like showed me what the future could look like this year, being a starting role. Um, yeah, just being like in a starting role, seeing what I could do with that, finding the team and seeing where the team could go.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know that you guys weren't slated to be back in the championship for basketball. People
Yeah.
doubted you. They thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, we all know, and I've interviewed him, and of course, great kid, Bryson. We know what he does, but they
Mhm.
doubted you guys, and you guys came through. You did it in football. What was this, senior, you get done with your junior year. What was some things that you're going into your senior year just kind of thinking amongst the sports and your feelings? What was some things that you remember?
I think we all kind of well for a football perspective, like we all just kind of saw these guys transferring all over the place, and like we had no transfers coming in this season, and I think that really helped us unite as one and just like put that chip on our shoulder because we really are a group of homegrown kids. We all have played junior Titans growing up. We've played with each other since we were little, so I think just like having that sense of unity really helped us like buy into each other and be successful. And same thing for basketball. Like Grant, Kenny, I played with those guys since I was younger, and like I feel like there's a lot of teams in the state tournament this year that couldn't say that. Like there's a lot of those top teams uh, have transfers.
Well, and remember, and I only say this because, of course, everybody that I get an interview and the different stories, everybody's journey is different and why they transfer. Some are for the right, whether it's, I've done a guy who actually just had his pro day because his junior coach said he wasn't a football player, so he transferred out. Now he's up for a pro day. I mean, imagine telling a kid that you're not quarterback material. Now he's up for a pro day. Like that to me is just crazy because that was a adult pushing towards a kid made him make this decision. You have others where they just want to play together, and of course 4 years goes by quick. But you have others like yourself where it's a homegrown. And you guys have built this, and this is something that you've seen be built. You go into the senior year, do you have what's kind of your recruiting? How is it going? What's some things that you see heading in the right direction for yourself?
Well, senior year kind of was the start for a lot of my recruiting contacts. I started reaching out to football coaches mainly, and then during that, well, after baseball season junior year, I kind of started to realize I wanted to play baseball in college because I had gotten the opportunities that I wanted my junior year for baseball. So
What was that first one? What was that like when you got that first one? If it's who you want to say you want to, cool. You don't have to tell a school, but what was that first offer like for you?
yeah, it was definitely a great feeling. Felt like I finally made it. But I think it was just uh like wow, like this is what I've been working for my whole life. Like I finally have achieved this. I finally have an opportunity to play at the next level like I've always dreamed of. So
What
I
does
think
it change when it's baseball for you? What does that change your heart or desire or still does it give you hope that, hey, I know it's baseball right now, but maybe I still can any sport that I want to go?
yeah, I think just having those two options was really big because I thought for a while uh during this last summer that I wanted to play both in college. So I looked into playing both. I got offers for both sports, and there were some schools that were willing to let me play both. But ultimately, after talking like with my family a bunch, I decided I want to focus on one and see where one could take me because I feel like if I put all my marbles into one sport, I feel like I can get a lot out of it.
You of course make that decision, but of course you're still trying to play all three sports. What was the commitment for you and still being able to finish one last ride with all of your teammates?
Yeah, I think I think just having that one last year to play football and basketball this year meant a lot because I realized I would never play those sports again after this year, and I played those my whole life, and I love playing both of them. But I think just um just realizing that I have one last ride, um like really helped me stay committed and locked in that whole season and just doing whatever I can to help the team succeed and just like doing extra work nonstop because I know that this is my last chance.
Does your role change at all during this senior year as far as leadership, as far as commitments, because you are and have chosen baseball?
Yeah, for sure. I think like we lost a lot of seniors for football and basketball, so that really kind of forced me to step up into leadership role. And I was obviously playing big minutes both for both sports, so I was like I had to be a voice for those younger guys and the other starters out there. And uh, I think just like seeing how the guys led before me really helped me to lead the way that I did this year.
Of course, in football, you guys make it and end up being runner up to, I mean, we all know a stacked monster house at Millers South. That's neither here nor there, but you did what people didn't think that Papio South was going to accomplish. And especially once your star, Derek Jones, went down. And like for me, that hit hard because, of course, 2 months before that, me and him were talking about all of his dreams, his ambitions, his drives, especially for that senior year.
Mm-hmm.
How did the locker room come together, knowing that the top running back, one of the top running backs in the state's not going to be on that sideline? How did that all come together for you guys?
Yeah, that was definitely a hard time for us seeing Derek go down. Like he was probably the biggest leader we had. That during this football season, like he proved it all summer. He became like the biggest voice on our team, and like everyone listened to what Derek said. But seeing him go down really helped us come together and play for him. And like after that Westview game, we went into Kearney the next week and we beat him by like 30. Some people were predicting we'd lose that game, but I think just like coming together, playing for Derek really helped us thrive.
Being a kid who's played multiple sports and been able to do whatever you want to do when you got to do it, and you see someone like Derek goes down, how do you guys help a teammate going through that type of adversity? I think sometimes, and I know I said it even on his show, one injury could make it where people forget who you are, and you kind of go solo dolo. You're like, well, I'm not needed on the team, so people forget. What did you guys try to do for Derek to make sure he was still that leader that he is?
Yeah, after he got that surgery, we all went and visited him, and like even during practice, I'd make extra efforts to go over and talk to him because like he's not able to be out there, and he would do anything to be out there playing with us. So just like making extra efforts to keep talking to him, keep him involved with the team.
You, of course, then get to basketball, and you guys, again, get runner-up. Now, was not on the docket, was not expected. What did it mean to be that group that not only got Coach his championship, but also left him still on a high note? What was that like for you, and what did it mean to be a part of that?
Yeah, it definitely meant a lot. I remember early in the season, we obviously were going through a couple tough games. We lost to Southwest by 30, I think. And we lost to like Millard South on a buzzer beater first game of the season. So those first couple of weeks were hard. And around that time, he told us that he wouldn't be coaching next year. And that really like hit hard. And I realized like we're the last group he's gonna coach. And like from then on, I really saw our team like unite, come together, play as a team. Like everyone just accepted their role. Like nobody cared about their stats, how well they played, just whatever the team needed.
It's weird to say those type of things that you just said. Forget about the stats, forget about just why we're playing, and know why we're playing as a team, because everybody that normally is at that level is trying to get themselves to that next level. When you look at the sports and all three that you've been doing, what would you say the importance is for the success that you guys have seen? Is a lot is still based on player led.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, player-led teams are way better than coach-led teams. Coach Klum really hammered that into our brains during the summer, senior year, and we had a very good group, leadership group of seniors, and like, I mean, us as the players are the ones on the court playing the game, so like, it's not like the coaches can do anything on the court. So just having that leadership on the court, like in action during the game, is really big because the coaches aren't able to provide that sometimes.
You, of course, look at the way that you finished your senior year, knowing that those were your last 2 times. Do you have anything of, man, I wish I would have, I wish I could have when you look at those 2 sports?
No, not at all. I poured everything I could into both, even though we fell up 1 win short for both. But I think I put all the work in I needed to, and we obviously made it farther than everyone else thought we would.
You, of course, look back to a freshman, Brady, and you have a conversation with them, or maybe it's just someone watching, because that's always our goal, is if we can reach one athlete or one parent going through this process. What's one thing as a freshman you wish you knew that you know now that you would look back and talk to freshman Brady about?
Stay committed to the grind. Just keep working. It'll all pay off in the end. Because freshman year, if I would have heard that, I probably wouldn't have believed it. Obviously made a bunch of improvements from freshman to senior year. So I think just sticking to the grind, enjoying playing, and have no regrets. Just put all the work in you can, so you don't have regrets at the end.
You get to your senior year here with baseball, and of course, you are committed to Concordia, being the next homegrown Bulldog. What are you guys hoping to accomplish as you're finishing up this year? And will you be doing one last Legion ride, or is that something where you have to do something else? Every school's different, every commitment's different.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm planning on playing Legion this year, and just to enjoy my last summer at home, and enjoy playing with my high school buddies, high school teammates one last time. And obviously, the goal for the spring is to win a state championship. And I think if we really come together and start to have that player led leadership, I think that's a really possible goal.
You, of course, look across the way at the past couple years of your baseball, and you look at the success of other athletes from Papio South. How inspiring are those type of athletes for you to continue to understand that if this is a sport you love and you want to grind, there's different routes to go, and this is going to be your journey going through Concordia?
Hmm. Yeah, I think multi-sport athletes like are really big. Like seeing like guys like Jackson Trout and Ian Medic, Jackson Horn, guys like those who played 2, 3 sports in high school, like seeing them be versatile, helping out multiple teams, just showed me like you really can be successful in many ways. And I think just using that going into college can really help me accomplish my goals.
What was it about baseball that turned that into the one? What made you stop the football? Was it the fact that you're seeing people believe in you? Because I'm sure not every email was answered, not every DM was answered. And I think that's important for young athletes to understand is, remember, you can only accept one offer, and you can get 50 million offers. You can talk about the 50 million offers, but in the long run, you can only accept one. What was that for you?
Yeah, I think like I said, junior year, just getting those opportunities, those varsity opportunities that I hadn't had in other sports was really big. It was probably the first main step toward me wanting to play baseball. And then just seeing like my growth, especially with my height and weight, really helped my numbers go up for baseball. Like my 60-yard dash, my pitching velocity, my spin rate, my exit velo. So just seeing those like improvements and what my growth, my physical growth did, just really like showed me that if I keep doing these things in the future, I can keep improving these, and I feel like I have the most potential to grow with baseball.
Now, baseball is a very, very hard grind, and especially at pitching, it's what can you do tomorrow more than it is what you have done in the past.
Mhm.
What are some of the major pitching opportunities that you're seeing and that you're getting as far as working with? I know you guys at Papio South, and he might still be there or he might not, but you guys did have Coach John Altman, and we, of course, had him on one of my Wired Access episodes to tell his journey through Creighton, where he wasn't this dominant guy, but he got to go to college and play 4 years and show what he could do, in state as at Creighton. Who's some of those that are kind of helping you develop who you are as a pitcher?
Yeah, he's probably been the biggest in my development, honestly. I really started working with him a lot sophomore to junior year. He was the JV coach sophomore year, and then he left to go to Norris. But during the off season, I stayed with him and did extra sessions over the off season, and he really helped me with like my mental game approach. Just want to like get my velo up, attacking early in counts, stuff like that. So like he's definitely been my biggest influence in pitching, and he's definitely the reason why I'm here today.
You talked about the mental part. How do you keep yourself from not beating yourself up in a game that is 70% failure, maybe 30% success? And on the mound, it could be even worse. What are some of the mental things that you help yourself so you don't beat yourself up?
Just taking deep breaths, resetting when things are going bad. Like just taking a step off the mound, taking a deep breath is big, I think. And just going at your own pace. Like for me, I like to work fast, going off the mound, set my own pace. But if guys start to hit me around, I'll take a step off. But yeah, Coach Ullman, he'd have like Zoom calls. Actually, just did one today. He talks about like the mental game, what's going well, what's not going well, how you can adjust. So I think just making those adjustments and resetting during the game is big.
What made you decide Concordia? What was it that you really liked about their culture, their development? What was the thing that brought you to Concordia?
Yeah, I'd say I developed a really great relationship with the coach, Coach Dupik, and I actually heard about him through Coach Ullman. Coach Ullman told me how great of a pitching coach he was, and I've seen like clips of guys from Concordia, like their velo stuff like that, and I've heard he's a great pitching coach and developing guys. And I think I have a lot of room to grow, and I just feel like he's the best coach for me. And I also think I also got recruited by Concordia for football, so I think just being around the campus more for both sports really was a big part of my decision.
For your decision was culture the top importance, location top importance, or atmosphere? What was probably one of your biggest things?
Probably culture, and how I could see like which place I could see myself developing the best in. And I thought Concordia provided that the best out of any school I talked to. And I mean, obviously, location was a pretty decent factor in it because I didn't want to go too far away from home. But it's just nice that Concordia happens just to be an hour away. And yeah, I think they have a great culture, and I really think I can develop there.
You look at this process of becoming committed and making that decision. What do you remember about talking to your parents and telling them what your final decision was? How did that go for you? And how did they keep you understanding of it's your journey and they're just there to make sure you're doing what you want to do?
Yeah, those conversations were really big. I went on a lot of visits during that time, and I was kind of juggling all my options at once, and they really helped talk me through it. What I should prioritize the most, how I shouldn't chase like the big social media posts, going to big schools, if you're not going to play right away. So my mom kind of helped me realize like going to Concordia, developing under a good pitching coach like Coach Dupik, and like playing early on in college would be the best for me and getting to where I want to go.
Is there an ideal size and that you want to be when you get to college? Is there stuff like that, or regiments that you really got to push as you're finishing up your senior year, preparing yourself for college?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest one is just continuing to stack on weight. I'm about like 175 right now, but I probably want to be closer to 200 in like going into college or early on in college. But when I went on my visit to Concordia, I saw like how the food plan works, and it's an unlimited food plan, and that was really promising to me. And it kind of showed me that I have a really good opportunity to put on weight.
You of course look back at these 4 years and you think of, even through this conversation, what's Brady Alderson going to be remembered for as a Titan?
Definitely just my hard work, pushing through adversity, not quitting, staying true to Papillion South, just enjoying it all, playing with my homegrown brothers.
Concordia Bulldog fans, what are they getting with Brady Alderson coming out there?
They're getting a really hard worker. A guy who's not going to quit. Works his tail off.
We'll get you out of here on this, and I greatly appreciate your time. I appreciate your story and your journey of just explaining how, even through it all, there was times of wanting to quit, wanting to stop, wanting to change sports. You still stuck to working hard, overcoming the adversity, and becoming a person that kids can look up to, especially, like you said multiple times, those junior Titan kids. Those are the important ones, the ones that look up to you, just like you did with someone like an Ian Medic and all them. What do you do outside of sports to keep yourself so you don't get burnt out? What are some of the things that keep you who you are and be able to, because I think those are some of the things that people forget about, whether it is going down to your local fishing hole, whether it is going golfing. I know that was Bryson's thing. He's like, I just like to go golf.
Yeah.
What is it for Brady?
Yeah, my two biggest hobbies outside of sports are probably playing video games and going golfing. This last summer, I went golfing a ton, and I actually just got new clubs and new golf shoes for my birthday. So I'll definitely be using those this summer. But yeah, I mean, golfing just helps me take my mind off of those main sports that I'm playing, and just helps me enjoy what I'm doing and take it all in.
Well, once again, this is Wired Access Podcast, All Axcess Granted, where we get raw, real, and the real access here. And of course, this series you can find on characterchronicles.com under their podcasts, or sometimes it's on the front page. If it's not on the front page, click up podcast. We're at the bottom there, Wired Access. This StreamYard is brought to you by your Omaha Beef, who are having a rough season, but don't worry, they're trying to turn it around. They have a away game this Saturday, 8 p.m. I'll be hosting the watch party at Hurrdat Sports Bar. Of course, Wired Access wouldn't be what we were without starting out at Hurrdat Sports, so we appreciate them. And if there's one parent or one athlete that is going through the hard part of high school, just remember, you're not alone. There's a lot that you can learn from all of these episodes that we do from different level of athletes. At no time are we only going for a certain style of athlete. But one thing that these athletes continue to say, if you stick it out and work hard enough, you never know what's going to be in your future. So until next time, we'll see you. And thank you again, Brady. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And good luck to the rest of your season. We'll be watching for you guys, of course, online. And seeing what you have fun also with Legion Ball and then at Concordia. Till next time, we'll see.
The standard It's the standard. We set the standard.
Brady on your phone.